Evening all, let's play dropships. Now, if you remember, my very second video ever with Dust was, I think titled something like Dropships, the ultimate, I don't know, porn machine or something. Something, you know, kind of newbie and elite. But it was basically because at that point dropships were just staggeringly good. And I'm pleased to report they're back. Now, a lot of you are now kind of shaking your head and scratching your neck beard going, no, they're not. They're crap. They're terrible. Well, let's look at it. Stay Fresh, one of our most awesome dudes in the Corp, he's basically lent me a go in his assault dropship, which was fun. I can't fly it, and I'm about to crash it, so get ready. But this thing was amazing fun, and I've got to admit, it was swift, agile, it was good, it felt very fun. What we're about to do here is we're actually tracking an enemy LAV, and I've never felt this in Dust before, this feeling of I don't know, it felt a bit like Mad Max, that bit where, you know, look at this, you've got our two LAVs chasing this dude, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I don't know, I'm invoking images of, what is it, Bruce Spence, whatever his name is, in that gyrocopter chasing, you know, like this band of marauding people. Anyway, I digress, but it was really good, and I think to me, this felt like, wow, it's a totally different game. So I know that they're weak, I know that they have issues, but I really like this thing, so I think I might go for one. But anyway, what we're doing really, I think, is this was a missile variant. I think Stay Fresh had put blasters on the side. And you'll see how we use it in this video. I mean, it was a right riveting blast, I must admit. And so, you know, it was really good fun. And we were just basically tracking this dude. We chased him all the way around, like almost, you know, sort of 180 degrees of the map, and it was fantastic. And look, he wipes out. Fantastic, isn't it lovely? And basically, we hunt him down, you know, kill him, strap him to the boot of the to the hood of the LAV, then drive into a brick wall. I don't know, whatever happened, but basically, this thing was an absolute blast to drive, and sadly I got a bit carried away and I managed to actually fly it into the ground. And because the keyboard and mouse combination really does suck, this thing is in trouble because I actually can't activate the repper as well, so you can see me kind of manically mashing buttons to try and get the repper on, and it's just not working. And that held, you know, the hull is going down. Stay Fresh, he's being brave, he's sticking with me, he's shouting, activate the repper, and I'm like, I'm trying. And I'm now worried about I'm going to crash, and it's all going to absolute pot, and then somehow just managed to save it. There we go, look at that. The Stay Fresh jumped out. Oh, no belief at all. But this thing was really good, and I've got to admit, it felt very agile, very enjoyable to fly. And I highly rated it. I mean, I think it would become a bit of a pain. So here we go. This is just Stay Fresh showing the speed of this thing. Look at that. Look how quickly it takes off. I mean, it's swift, isn't it? I mean, it's a good vehicle. I quite like it. I think I've heard a lot of people telling me they're rubbish, and I've also heard a lot of people telling me, well, I've actually shot a few down with pretty basic gear. So I can see why maybe people are a bit, I don't know, critical of them maybe, but this thing was a blast, and I must admit it was good fun. So here we go, we got onto the turret, and then just, you know, absolutely tracking people, shooting people. Oh, it's just so much fun, and it just instilled memories of the old Hammer of Thor style dropship. Yeah, fun. Stay tuned for the second part of this video, which is, it's all part of the same video, but what I'm trying to say is in the second bit we use missile turrets, and you'll just see how effective they are. So, you know, I think a lot of people have kind of shit talked about these things. You do need very high skills. You need the right turrets. You need the right everything. So I would stress you do need that. They're vulnerable as well, so turrets are our worst enemy in this thing. Turrets are always going to be something that catches you out. So like a tanker, we'll have to worry about turrets. A dropship and an assault dropship pilot always has to worry about turrets. So just make sure wherever you are, you're keeping your eye out for turrets where you see them. But I think this thing was pretty good. I mean, it tracked well. I think it had a good punch once you kind of got hits on it. Not too sure about blasters. Blasters felt very short range. I imagine you need rail turrets now, but I mean, it was alright. It was good fun, and I've got to admit, I think it was one of these kind of real night and day sort of, you know, revelations, if you like, because I was so used to dropships just being awful for so long, and then all of a sudden they're pretty good, and I think you can see here it's just absolutely doing some real damage. But I liked it, and I think that it's always going to be a vulnerable thing, and I think the skill is really down to the pilot. Obviously, I got shot because I'm a noob, but that's the beauty of it. So let's just go to our next map here. This is a bit sort of proper footage now. And this is it. This is our glorious missile Hand of Thor, or rather Hammer of Thor, you know, FU in the A kind of gunplay. And just to show you how good it is, just took this turret down. So again, you know, this is just a light turret, but look at it. It's absolutely, it's mullering this heavy railgun. So very impressed, and I think, you know, really this is maybe a sign of good things to come. Now again, there were two different types of dropships we're playing with here. This is actually not an assault dropship. This is the I believe the logistics dropship. So again, look at the Stay Fresh, absolutely fantastic pilot, doing a really good job. Look at this, punch, smack, bang, wallop, doing some real damage. And I think, you know, look at this, blap, there you go. And I think this was it was just such a revelation. It really was. It just reminded me of what this game was almost a year ago maybe, that you could do this. I think maybe 6 months ago they nerfed it through the wall, and now we're back again, and it feels very good. You do need a very high level of skill in the missile, but I think it's worth it. I think so much so I'm tempted to respec a little bit into assault dropships. So here we go. Stay Fresh then dropped off the logistics one and recalled it, and then we got down the his assault dropship, which looks like a bit like a stormtrooper's helmet, but it was a good. It's a good thing. I think the armor one probably is slightly better. That's just because for some reason I hear that armor tanking is better than shield tanking. Post in the comments if you disagree. I'm only going what I've heard, and I think certainly, you know, these things are actually, I think, something that you should probably start to, I guess, take notice of. They are weak, but I think they, you know, with the skill of the pilot and the right fit, you know, you're not totally weak. I think there's always going to be the capability to do some real damage in these things. And I think, you know, they have a very particular charm about them as well. So here we go, storming a base, and Stay Fresh, you know, basically was covering from the air. So now we take off and we start to basically, you know, take people out from above. So watch this damage, and again, you need to be a bit of a deadeye, I will admit. The splash damage isn't great, and I think, you know, if you do remember the old build, and I mean the very, very old build, the splash damage on these things was wrong. So if you were basically in the right postcode, you would kill everybody on the map with these missiles, which is obviously a bit OP, a bit stupid really, but I think this is probably still a bit too the other way. I mean, look at that, I'm hitting him, and you know, the splash damage is probably a meter, that's it. Which, I don't know, is that realistic? Nah, not really. But is it a problem? Well, no, I think it keeps it balanced. I think, you know, just absolute blast it really was. And again, probably the problem, I think the issue here is we kind of make a mistake there. Oops, damn, never mind. But we're getting another dropship. And this is back to the logistics dropship, but here again, just same missiles, as you can see. And this was just, again, hovering over the base. I think unless they call in something to deal with you, I mean, look at the damage this thing does. Obviously, those two enemy cars crash, and we basically capitalize and just destroy them, and it's fantastic, isn't it? Accurate, it's fun. I think you've got an incentive to have some good gunners stick with you throughout the map as well. So the kill assists aren't too bad. I think they're pretty good. And I think when you see here, I mean, look at this. You sort of, you know, these guys probably can't figure out where we are. I think also it's just there's something quite endearing about it. Like, there we go, splash damage got that dude, but there is something very endearing about it. So let's see if we can kill him. I think one more shot. Bloop, there we go. And this is it. This is kind of the I think the thing in Dust that I think a lot of people, I guess, just you know, they don't really kind of consider it. I know a lot of players don't use dropships, and if they, you know, they used to. These dropships used to be really common, but I think for a long time they're just used to get on top of things, or they used to drop a spawn pad somewhere clever. I don't think enough people use them as a conveyance because forge guns are too good, swarm launchers are pretty deadly, and I think, you know, you just need to have a really skilled and experienced pilot at the helm, and they're pretty good, and I think that's really what it's about. So here we go, we just took a massive damage. I think the railgun just smacked us one. Could have been a forge gun, I don't know, but we had to get the hell out. And I think this is unfortunately one of the perils of dropships, I guess, is they're always going to be at the mercy of you know, a dude with a militia forge gun, because that one gun for 4k its outlay in 2-3 shots can take one of these down, which is, I guess, I don't know. It makes sense because you don't want to go back to the old days where, you know, these things were just spammed continually. But at the moment, like, I feel tanks have a place. People call in a tank. They're powerful, but they're vulnerable in both measure. With these things, they're just 75% vulnerable, 25% offensive. And I think they maybe just need a little bit more of a boost. Maybe, you know, a bit more armor, something like that. But there we go. I mean, again, I think they're really good things. I'm definitely going to spec into one. Lots of people have warned me not to, but I think I'm going to. So I'm going to take my third character and probably put them in one of them. So there we go. I think next time we'll start to look at tanks, but I think hopefully you enjoyed that. I think we're going to do a lot more of these things. If you have a particularly interesting fit for these things, give us a shout, and we'd love to feature it. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.